Patrick, you have, I remember you saying on here a few times before, you have, I think it was you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you've actually, when people are pitching to you, like not cut them off, but said very early on that this is not, that we're not the right people for you or whatever it was. Was that you?
That happens to me like 5 to 10 minutes in. Yeah, I do that.
Wow.
I mean, I want to be respectful, but also I want to be transparent. The VC experience that founders get is absolutely atrocious, like across the board. It's terrible. And I do empathize with that because I get a similar experience with my investors, right? I mean, I can tell stories about that. It's even more opaque, but whatever, not to complain. So I can completely empathize. And in the end, everybody is just trying to make the best fit in the least amount of time, and fit comes with different dimensions, whatever the fit is, but in the end, that's how you maximize ROI in fundraising. So I feel it's my responsibility and my obligation to the people I interact with to actually help them establish that fit in the least amount of effort. Yeah. I think that's just fair.
Justin, I'm curious on the VC front. I'm sure you get a lot of cold outreaches as well from VCs. And yeah. I actually think some of the VCs cold outreach emails are pretty pathetic. They love to reference, we love investment in construction companies. And then like you have some obscure companies and I'm like, maybe that qualifies in the broader prop tech sort of ecosystem, but nothing to do with what we're doing. And
they did a pre-IPO SPV in WeWork.
Yeah. And then it's also like, Justin, I'm curious about your thoughts on this as well. Like me, I've already raised a Series A. My next venture investor, I'm not looking for someone with necessarily construction tech experience. It's not what we need. I don't need more fundamental understanding of construction. I'm looking like, what do we need to build this into 1,000-person organization? And so highlighting like a better tactic to go from an A to a B and a C is, highlighting how we come in and help you operationalize things. Like it's missing the mark. Like, I don't care what your construction portfolio is. I would if maybe you were if I was raising a seed round and it was my first investment capital, that would make a lot more sense to me. Okay, we can make some introductions, but anyone who touts their Rolodex to an entrepreneur, I think misses the point. Rolodex is finite. And you have to build scalable, repeatable processes. And so I see a lot of VC outreaches that I'm like, it's not good.
Is this outreach from senior people, general partners, or more like juniors?
Mostly the associates.
Yeah, I think that's like the problem.
Cold outreach is cold outreach then.
Yeah, it's. I think the problem is like, the cold outreach does come from associates in a lot of cases, and then like what I'll see often is like an associate will do like 2 or 3 sequenced emails, and then the partner will come in on the 4th one and be like, hey, Justin, like, just so you know, like I'm on this too. And like, I would like to meet you, whatever. And sometimes I'll respond to that last one. And it's not because I'm operating on this like high arrogance of like, I can only talk to a certain level within the fund. But I do think the reality of VC today is like, associates they're not writing checks. Like they're not making decisions, like for the most part, especially as you get to a later stage if you're talking about a B or a C type of round. So it's like, I don't want to get on the phone and like pitch an associate on Shepherd. Like, I think it's like, it's just like, is that a good use of our time? Like, not really. And again, it's not necessarily like a commentary on them as an individual, or like, I'm not even, trying to come at it from this arrogance, but I think it's just like it's a gatekeeper function in terms of how I've experienced it, even at an earlier stage. It's just somebody who can say no, but they can't say yes. So like, why would I do that? Is kind of like what founders I think learn. So I don't know, like I get a lot of color, which I just ignore. And then ultimately sometimes like, it'll escalate, and then somebody that is more relevant, and then they'll personalize the email a lot better. And then it's like, okay, we'll connect. So sometimes, yeah, that's like, I definitely get a lot of that. And some of it is totally irrelevant. And like the companies that they name, I'm like, I've never heard of any of these, but yeah, I think that's kind of how it goes for us at this stage.
Do you think that these emails are copy paste, adapt and send, or are these like really bespoke emails?
No. Like they're like, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah from blah, blah, blah. We've invested it. This is our stage investor. Like we've invested these companies. And at the bottom, it's like, I've been doing a lot of work in InsurTech and I like noticed Shepherd. And that's the like, okay, this is just like plug and play.